It was 7 years ago today that I sat down and I discovered, in my opinion, one of the best web comics on Webtoon, My Giant Nerd Boyfriend. So I was on Webtoons and I was kind of scrolling around. I didn't know exactly what I was in the mood to kind of read, but I just needed something that needed to be a distraction. I did all this work and I was kind of tired and I just wasn't in the mood to sit, and read a 400-page novel. But I wanted something that just hit the spot. You know what I mean? When you just have a little, a hankering for something, but you don't need the whole platter. It was one of those kinds of times for me. So I'm scrolling around Webtoons and I see this weird title called My Giant Nerd Boyfriend. I was like, you know what? Let me take that out. What do I got to lose? I'm just trying to distract myself for like maybe another 10, 20 minutes. So I go in there and I make the terrible mistake of actually starting to read this Webtoon. And instead of taking, like a 10 or 15-minute break, just to get away from it all and do something fun before I had to get back to work, I found myself reading about 30 or 40 chapters of it and losing quite a bit of time in the process. And it was weird for me because it wasn't action webtoon. It wasn't science fiction or fantasy. It was just a slice of life. It was just someone describing their relationship and the funny situations and sometimes serious situations that they had with their giant nerd boyfriend. And I was like, giant nerd boyfriend. And then I scrolled in and found out that this dude is 6'5" and she is all of 4'11" or 5 foot. She's really, really short. Anyway, I realized something about storytelling and the power of storytelling. Like, even though someone like me, who doesn't always go for the slice of life bit of comics or even of regular literature, was pulled into this story, pulled into these different stories and different scenarios with art that isn't perfect art. It's not perfect art. It's short, it's messy, it's cartoony, but yet it worked because the story itself worked. You see, your art doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to know how to draw the perfect torso or the perfect head or know how to draw hands or feet. But you do need to know how to pull people in with your story. That you have the ability to make even mundane things like going to the store to shop for tomatoes an interesting adventure. That no one has a power level, no one has super duper powers. Just the power of bringing people in, sucking them in, and not stealing, but somehow gifting them the curiosity and joy of trying to figure out how this person gonna get out of this.